His shirt hung loose on his skinny frame, and his bare feet made no sound as he stepped nervously onto the stage. The lights of Manila's Grand Theater blinded him for a moment, but he didn't flinch. 12-year-old Arvind stood still, clutching the microphone with trembling hands. The audience, used to glitter and fame, didn't expect much from a boy who looked like he hadn't eaten a full meal in days. A few people in the crowd chuckled. But then the music began, an acoustic version of Hotel California. The moment Arvind opened his mouth, time seemed to freeze. His voice was not just good, it was pure, haunting, filled with a kind of sorrow only life's harshness could teach. The judges leaned forward. The crowd fell silent. Even the ones who mocked him earlier now held their breath. This wasn't just a song. This was his life. Every lyric poured from his soul like truth. His voice cracked, once, twice, not from nerves, but emotion. Behind his notes were memories of hunger, of sleeping on cardboard near the pier, of singing for coins outside jeepney stations. One of the judges, a famous diva, wiped her eyes. The others looked stunned. And when he hit the final, aching note, there was silence, then a roar. A judge stood up and slammed the golden buzzer. Gold confetti rained down. Arvind didn't smile. He just stood there, eyes wide, as if he couldn't believe kindness could ever fall from the sky. Backstage, his mother burst into tears. Arvind ran into her arms, and they hugged like the world around them had disappeared. Cameras rolled. Producers whispered about headlines and record deals. But all Arvind could hear was his mother's heartbeat, steady and safe. Just a week ago, they had been evicted again, pushed out of their shanty near the harbor because the land was being cleared for new condos. His mother sold rice cakes on the roadside. Arvind sang on buses. Together, they made barely enough to eat. When Arvind auditioned, they didn't even have proper clothes. A janitor lent him his cleanest shirt. A vendor gave them a bus ticket. Now, those strangers were watching from the back row, crying. Arvind saw them and waved. The judge who hit the golden buzzer came backstage too. She knelt down and hugged Arvind like a son. "Where did you learn to sing like that?" she asked. He looked up, tears in his eyes. "When I'm hungry, I sing. When I miss my father, I sing." He used to play this song on his broken guitar. The judge placed her hand on his shoulder. "You just gave the world a gift." The host announced that Arvind had already become a trending topic in 12 countries. But the boy wasn't thinking about fame. He looked at his mom. "We can buy a house now?" She smiled, still crying. "Maybe just a room, but yes, baby. A real roof." The spotlight faded, but Arvind's story was just beginning. Within hours, international talent agencies and charities began to reach out. A global audience was inspired. A street child had shaken the world with his voice. A news anchor in New York teared up during the evening broadcast. "This boy," he said, "reminds us what music is for: truth, pain, and hope." Offers poured in, scholarships, tours, albums. But the most touching moment came days later, when Arvind returned to the street where he used to sing for coins. He brought his guitar, now signed by celebrities, and stood on the same corner. A small crowd gathered. He sang again, not for cameras, not for money, but for the ones still living the life he escaped. And this time, when the last note faded, a little barefoot girl whispered to her mother, "Mama, maybe I can sing too?" A chain reaction of hope had begun. Arvind used his earnings not just for his mother's care or a home. They built a small music school under a bridge for other poor kids. "If I could do it," he told the first class, "you can too." The world now knew his name. But for Arvind, the real golden buzzer was not applause. It was hearing a street child sing for the first time and believe it meant something. What started as a poor boy's pain had become a nation's anthem of hope. And the echo of Hotel California would now forever carry the voice of a boy who sang himself into history.